Okay, so a lot of people were asking about how to use a dot build, and I decided to, give some insight on how to use this properly. I've been doing about T3, T4 level content right now, and I think once I get a little better gear, I can do T5. Okay, so here are my items really quickly. I'm not going to go through them all, but I found some pretty good pieces for cold damage, and this is what inspired me to do the build. The only item you really need to do this build is the Quetzalcoatl, and if you don't have that, turn back. I just don't think it's worth it to do this build without it. Firstly, Spirit Barrage, that's your main damage dealer. Sometimes you can change it for Lumbering Cold, depending if you have the gloves with Empowered. Everything else is pretty standard. You can change out Haunt for Draining Spirit, for infinite mana. Locust Swarm Pestilence, Mass Confusion. Sometimes I swap that out for Soul Harvest or Summon Zombie Dogs with Legion Beasts. That's pretty much how it goes. Grave Injustice is really nice with Thing of the Deep. This is my standard setup, but it changes if I have the Empowered Shrine with the gloves that last an hour. It basically gives me infinite mana, so I don't need to have mana, but I really like Bad Medicine when I do like T4, T5. It's 20% base damage reduction, and it's just really strong. Next patch we'll be able to use Pierce the Veil and stuff like that, so we're going to get a significant buff next patch. Okay, we're coming up to the start of the boss right here, and I'm going to do this a little differently than I normally do because I'm recording. I'm just showing you guys what's happening. So you can see the dot is hitting for 617. And that is a non-crit. And the way I can tell that's a non-crit is just I know my own damage values. So you're going to have to test it out to find what your crit is and what your non-hit is. But generally, since I have like 400% crit damage, it's going to be 4 times that. So you're going to see here, I'm going to reapply Pestilence. I have a miss there. And you can see that this one is going to tick for 3.1 million, or 3.2 million. It's going to continuously tick for that much. So Pestilence is critting. I'm done with Pestilence. That's good. Now I need to pay attention to Haunt. Okay, so I'm just throwing a bit of Spirit Barrage, and Haunt actually crit. And I know that because I know my approximate damage values. And I'm going to reapply Haunt here to show you what a non-crit looks like. So I'm hitting for 14 million. That's with Pestilence critting and Haunt critting. Okay, so I just reapplied it, and you see like 5 million hits. It's not much, so just going to reapply again. Critting again, awesome. And now I just channel Spirit Barrage into him for the rest of the fight. Now, normally this would be much smoother when I'm not recording and not showing you guys what's happening, but that's kind of how you check if your dots are working properly. And in the future, when you fight a bunch of champion packs, you're going to have to learn how to micro 6 of those numbers going on at once and seeing what's critting and what's not.